What up, what up, what up? It is Saturday, November 2nd, also known as the Saturday before the 2024 presidential election on Tuesday. During the election cycle and even after, we're expecting mental wellness to be a huge part of the conversation, especially after we know who has won. So, a new study came out this week by the American Psychological Association. 77% of adults reported that the future of the country is a significant source of stress in their lives. 69% said the 2024 election, specifically the presidential race, is a significant source of stress. And nearly one in three respondents agreed that the political climate has strained relationships between them and their family members. Joining me today is the Barbara King, a licensed clinical social worker out of Barbara King Therapy based in Los Angeles. Thank you, Barbara, for being here today.
Hi, thank you for having me, Randy. I'm so excited to share some information with you and your
Yes.
viewers.
So I feel as though election anxiety, election stress has been kind of tossed around in the last 12 to 18 months. Can you just pin down for us what that is and how does it manifest in people?
Yeah, anxiety is just the fear of not knowing or not having control over something. And we see that with many different things, but it's extremely heightened due to the intake of social media, news, and just other outlets that are constantly on repeat of things going on in our world.
What do you make of these stats?
It sounds on par with what we see on social media and just interacting with others, uh, specifically with the stress. Before, there used to be a saying, you do not talk about politics, religion, and one other thing around the dinner table or with new people. Now it seems like those are the three things everyone is talking about at every moment in time, whether it's at work, whether it's at a place of worship, whether it's with your friends. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it can be harmful when you're with mixed company. Maybe people that don't doesn't have the same ideology as you, and you feeling like you don't have a safe space to talk. So we are seeing a heightened response to just differences, especially since 2020. It's been extremely polarized, so everyone feels like their way is the right way versus how can we come together to find a common ground, to find a happy place, to be okay with living differently but respecting one another.
And let's talk more about solutions. What can we do to combat election anxiety or election stress if we're feeling it?
Sometimes something that's really helpful is just turning it off. It is okay to say, you know what? I'm a news person. I need to know what's happening. And to give yourself 10 minutes to 30 minutes, and that's it for the day. We know that the news, all news channels, they recycle everything at a certain point. And so if we keep hearing it, that's all we're allowing our mind to play in our heads. That's not always the best thing. Um, that's one way. Another way is just finding the people that you can talk to comfortably, honestly, and really just feeling okay and safe to speak to these people about any topic, whether it's related to the election, whether it's some political campaign that's happening, whether it's one of the things that we might be voting on, whether it's a person or actual bill or something of that like. So just really just finding your people to just talk to understand like, hey, I have questions, or hey, I'm really frustrated, and having that safe space to do so.
And finding that community, I think, is why the specific stat on one in three people find that this election and politics and the political climate is straining their relationships lands as so stunning to me because, these are ideally people in our inner circles who we're having dinner with, as you said. How do we avoid this election, the politics, whatever, getting in between people that we love?
Whew, isn't that a tough one? It's accepting that my way does not have to only be the right way. There are multiple ways to find the right path, the right answer to many different things, right? We think about it like a math problem. In algebra, there are multiple ways to get to this same answer, and that's okay. And that's a part of life. It's really just accepting that we might be different, but we can respect how we choose to go about something. And then, of course, finding that common ground. And that's where it really matters with finding the correct, right people to talk to. If you're just talking to anyone, if they're not in the mind space, in the head space, in the emotional state to be able to discuss what you want to discuss, it's never going to go in a way that you want it to go. And whether that's just, oh, just having a simple chat, if I'm not there in the space to talk about that chat with you, Randy, it's not going to work. So just really just paying attention to the time and the place and just moving accordingly.
Mm. And lastly, no matter the outcome, there's going to be some people who are upset that their candidate lost, and maybe feeling more anxious than usual because of that result. What mental health strategies do you recommend in that lane?
You know what? I love grounding techniques. Just paying attention to where your heart, your mind is. Sometimes we don't even realize when our heart is beating fast. And I'm sure the whole nation is going to have those feelings, especially during the election night, waiting to see the tallies of the votes, who's voting for who, what states are going for what states. Just taking a minute to just sit down with your feet planted on the ground, with your body straight up, just in a really comfortable space. Just breathing deep breaths in and out, which is some of the most basic things that we've been able to do since birth. Doing that really helps to just put your body into a place where it feels most comfortable. Especially on election night, I think we're really going to need to do that.
Mm. Now, Barbara, after people see this, they're probably going to wonder, are you accepting new clients? So I'll just ask now, are you accepting new clients?
I am accepting new clients. Yes, feel free to go to www.barberakingtherapy.com and fill out the contact form or email me at barbara@barberakingtherapy.com.
Virtual telehealth in addition to in-person services?
Yes, I have in-person services here in Los Angeles, and I am accepting clients anywhere in California for virtual sessions.
All right. Thank you, Barbara King.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you for having me. And I hope all of us take care of our mental well being during this time, especially during the holidays.
Mm.